Greetings and salutations. Welcome to my recording. Yeah, so it's going to be one of those. So go ahead. Bye bye if you don't want to hear it. Yeah, something just happened. Wow. So I'm doing my thing. I'm working on my inward store, and I get this IM from this guy who read my board on a particular type of sim. And, you know, um, and we spoke at length for a couple of hours, and you know, all I can do is laugh, just really laugh. Wow. It was the same personality type as me, INTJ. He asked me questions, the type of questions to where um, it gives insight, that the responses and answers give insight of a person. And actually, hold on, I need to, yeah, I meant to do this the last time. I'll do it now. So I want to, um, boop, 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 boop. Yeah, so hopefully the recording quality will be better. But anyway, all right. So, he spoke about his physical world, state of uh, previous relationship, and he asked as to why, how I got PTSD when I stated I had it. And I went into a little bit of detail as to, what happened. And yeah, the conversation was just really kind of, it started getting really awkward for me. Um, and so he starts talking in a very highbrow, um, self-educated way about psychological things regarding, rape and therapy um, and stuff of that nature. I don't want to get too graphic because, it is YouTube. And so I I listened, and he talked a very long time. He talked quite a bit, and he would um, he wanted some examples as to what kind of abuse I endured during my abusive marriage. I gave two examples, and then he proceeded to ask me, if someone wanted to role play those two examples, would I still feel turned off by that, or is that something I would want to do? And and I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, this is not going to end well. And of course, I was right. It did not end well. And so things continue, and I'm being cordial and everything. And so he comes up with this. He introduces how he's going to more or less, judge my response, or try to predict my response, or what have you, on a scale of 1 to 0, going into a grocery store, whether I would become aroused or not, just by grocery shopping. And I'm talking about, like, going to Kroger and pushing your buggy around and choosing between, low fat something or full fat something. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, uh, where would you be, on sexual arousal? Okay, the average. Where's the average? So the average amount of times you go to the grocery store, out of those average times, on a scale of 1 to 0, I'm sorry, on a scale of 0 to 10, where would you fall on the sexual arousal scale? Obviously, I said zero because I mean, come on now. Yeah, I'm gonna, I'm going out to Kroger or Trader Joe's and I'm looking at some bananas. And it's like, yeah, what's gonna be more important to me is like choosing the ones that are perfectly, good, not too green, not brown, and uh, yeah, it's like, oh, okay, bananas, or oh, what's on sale, or oh, wow, man, that's expensive. Oh, well, this has a better unit price. That's gonna be on my mind, obviously, and that kind of example scenario that he concocted, it's going to be a lot of variable factors. It's going to be unpredictability. I mean, because sure, you could be, just shopping and you can see someone be like, wow, they're really handsome, or ooh, they're really pretty. Oh, it could be like, oh, you have that little moment of ooh, but it's not going to skyrocket to like a 10. It could be, maybe a 1 to 2 from the average of a zero. Well, my average of a zero. Anyway, so um yeah. And so he, he adds on other examples as to like I don't know, you go into the grocery store and you see like a display of personal lubricant and watermelons, and how likely, or what how would you rate your sexual arousal? And I was quite literal, and I was said, well, I don't need, personal lubricant because I'm I'm a fortunate female in that department, and so and then he upped the example, and then he upped it again, and the third example in this scenario was just so what, it was very extreme. Grocery shopping, and this other thing happening at the store. And this other thing is one of the things that if you went to jail for it, then other prisoners would, shank you. It's that type of thing. I'm not going to verbalize that, but I know all of my subscribers are smart. Y'all know where I'm getting at. So and obviously it's like, what? How can you, you know? And he was shocked at my response because um, I did not fit the true INTJ personality type because he regarded my response as being too emotional, you know, uh, whereas it was supposed to be, oh well, of course, da 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 da. Well, I thought it was just he was just poking the bear. He was wanting to get that reaction, wanting to get that response out of me. And, this is coming from a person who is self proclaimed to be, that expresses their emotions differently, that doesn't use their voice to indicate any type of, joy or happiness or excitement or, any, so, very just kind of flat, as he put it. So, I mean, it was just wow. And to me, there was a continual theme, a continual, overtly questionable, awkward sexual theme in his conversation and his scenarios and the examples of which he put these scenarios, of which he put into these scenarios. And, so, when I told him, he told me that I was wrong, mathematically wrong on the scale of 0 to 10, and, I'm not a very mathematically inclined person. I hear numbers, I hear equations and math and whatever, and my brain just shuts off. I have a number dyslexia. It just shuts off. It's just, no. And, I was like, oh, I don't like math, and, da, da, da. Well, yeah, he didn't care. He wanted to prove that I was wrong and to explain why I was wrong, and then to, want to hear back that I agreed that I was wrong about that mathematical equation. So the thing is that, he made these extravagant and quite highly morally questionable examples in order to prove a mathematical theorem or what have you. You know, got a scale from 0 to 10, and you can't get any lower from a zero because there'd be a -1, and that's not on the scale. So the sexual aroused, could not possibly be a zero. It would have to be higher than a zero. All right. So and and he was getting quite agitated. He was getting quite agitated. And when I said, "Oh, you know, um, carry on talking, that's fine because, you're giving me the opportunity to judge you," which he did. And yeah, that's when he started to become more boastful in his so-called lackluster emotion. Yeah. Um, and I said, "Well, I'm sorry if I've offended you in any way. I didn't mean to," and that kind of upset him more, so much so that yeah, he just abruptly ended the conversation with me, and did the whole insincere. I wish you good luck and all the best. You know how people do the whole fakery with that when they're like pissed off, but yeah, they're just trying to hide it. So he did that, and I'm like, okay, all right then, bye. And yeah, so at first he was so excited. Oh, an actual INTJ female, and then, here he is trying to, pick me apart, pull me down. And yeah, so I just find it so funny. I just I just find it so hilarious. I mean, it's I mean, yeah. And he had watched a couple of my videos because he had said he did, now I'm wondering, did he just do that because he was bored, thinking that I would make a recording talking about that encounter? Hmm, you know. But yeah. So here is the lesson that I will freely share with you. When you're in Second Life and you are having a first time conversation with someone, especially if you meet them through a board at one of the many, agencies. And the conversation at any point makes you stop and think and like, what? Wait a minute. Huh? You know, if at any point the conversation seems to have a growing, increasing theme of awkwardness, brought on by examples of overtly sexual situations that no one would actually think is the right topics to bring up in a first time conversation with someone. It's okay to think that, oh, this doesn't seem right, or oh, this is kind of weird, or oh, this is making me feel awkward. You know what? It is perfectly normal to feel that way in an abnormal situation such as that. And there is no point in trying to further the conversation with someone who does that, because obviously they're not looking for a mental match. They are looking for puzzle to break apart, to dismantle. And, you know, I was blunt and I gave my perception of the current state of the conversation. And he got noticeably upset, even though he denied it. And the thing is that, he kept calling me judgmental, that I should keep my judgments to myself. And here's the thing, judging is the J in the INTJ. Um, so I'm not sure why he couldn't handle the judging part. And, I've always said I don't judge unless I'm given a reason. And that poor sod absolutely gave me the reason to do it, gave me the reason to judge. So, my dear subscribers, when you're in Second Life and you have an encounter that you feel someone is testing you or building you up only to take you verbally down, or someone to invade your personal space by uh, putting topics of a sexual nature on the table. If you're not comfortable with that, if it makes you feel awkward, if it makes you feel confused or like, wait a minute, this is a very extreme example to give. Why can't you just come out and ask me or something? Then, yeah, consider that a red flag. And just, you know, you could be the first one to leave the conversation. Uh, I was not the first one to leave this conversation. I allowed him to end it because it was obvious to me that he was really, really, really wanting some type of victory, and it was no skin off my bones. So, yeah, go ahead. Hang up the voice call first. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. And, yeah, I'm not angry. I actually, I don't know, I feel like a boost of confidence, because after the um, the mental abuse and the gaslighting that I suffered for 16 years with my abusive husband, I I I, I think that I've learned enough to be able to um, handle guys like the one that I just encountered a lot more reasonably. Um, and Yeah, I'm proud of myself. I I didn't get mad or oh my god or just just find it really funny. Um, there are times when I may misexplain myself or I'm not able to explain myself fully. However, what I feel inside, how I view myself, how I judge myself, that's what's important. And um, reviewing and scoring myself after this type of encounter, yeah, I did good. I did well. So, yay! All right, I just wanted to share that because, the reality of a virtual world. And, yep, that'll be it for this personal recording. All right, I will say laters. Bye.